to the American people, this looks like a sham. It was not clear. The case was made by the Democrats was you wouldn't want to hire any of them to be your lawyers and make a case for you because the timeline is not that long. Honest to God, the timeline is 3 months here. But if you have to figure out the dates that they're talking about, see, these guys, they got obsessed. This is a problem with a lot of the Democrats when they handle Trump. And it doesn't work with Donald Trump. It just doesn't. They got obsessed with dates, timelines. And they're throwing out all these dates. They're throwing out these timelines, but they're not, to the American people, they haven't built a clear one. And they've literally had, Dad, this is a week. It's a week. It feels like a month. And if you ask people, what is the president guilty of on the street? Do you think they could tell you?
No idea.
Do you think anybody could tell? Maybe you're a caller out there. If you watch these hearings, what is the president guilty of? I'll tell you what he's guilty of. Being independent. Not being controlled by Washington, D.C. bureaucrats. Not always following their stinking talking points. Which, by the way, he's probably is the first president who did say, I'm not going to just repeat what a bunch of CIA spooks want me to say on the phone call. I'm actually going to say how I feel about it.
Yeah.
And see how that goes. Now, he has gotten the consequences of that. They revolted against him. And they've been revolting against him since he came into office. Remember that. Jim Comey revolted against him. So you had the FBI, the CIA's revolted against him. They had this ultra revolt against the president because he has said, I am not going to just read your talking points, 35-year-old who wrote talking points, who did this research. I'm not going to just read out what you and the CIA approved. You know what was interesting to me was Kurt Volker's testimony. I think his testimony was fairly fair, pretty straightforward. Listen to his background of who he is. The guy starts his career in the CIA and then magically shows up at the State Department, which, by the way, why a lot of countries know that when we send our ambassadors over, they're actually CIA agents in these State Departments. It's not a conspiracy, by the way. Volker said it. He was CIA who then moved over to state. These are people who are used to being able to tell presidents, regardless of what party they are, they don't care so much about our domestic politics, these guys. Okay, so that's why they're able to serve other presidents. They're all about foreign policy, kind of American ideology, and they're very interventionist. They want to intervene everywhere. Except they didn't do this to Barack Obama, who wouldn't help the Ukrainians. But they said the reason why. The Germans were going to be upset. It may have caused too much. So they had reasoning behind that. But anyways, just remember, the president is in this position. You chose him because he said, I'm not going to just I'm not going to just take their word for it anymore. All he's asking them to do, I think, Dad.
Yep.
And I think from knowing the president now for a couple of years, this is true about his personality, is that if you're going to make assertions, you have to back them up.
Right.
So if you're going to say to the president, here's the talking points, back those talking points up.